All right, today we're going to solve the longest palindromic substring with my favorite elegant solution using dynamic programming, not with a matrix, but finding each character and expanding on the character from left and right to determine if it's a palindrome. And as the array expands from either one or two characters, if it is a palindrome, we're going to update the stored left and right index to save a max value and return that substring. So for example, in this example 2, we would start in the middle here with these two strings. We would update these two characters in the string. We would update left and right to be these two indices. And since these two would not match on left and right, C and D, that would not be a valid palindrome. And our max would just be those two characters in the middle. So we would return the substring with those two indices. All right, so let's go ahead and calculate the longest palindrome. So just some variables we're going to use. It's going to be a int n is going to be the length of the string. Then we're going to have a left and a right to keep as our static longest palindrome. All right, so now we're just going to use other for loops and different variables to iterate through the string. So for int I equals 0, we're going to go ahead and iterate it. I is less than n minus 1, I plus plus. And then to account for let's see here, instead of s, we're going to do s dot length with the function. So for iterating in each character, we also need to check if it's two characters and expand out from there as well. So we'll also account for that in a second for loop to check for the palindrome. So we're going to be using int j equals 0. J is less than or equal to 1, j plus plus. And then now that we're iterating through the 1 and 2 characters for each character of the string, we're going to have a int current left, cur left equals I, and int cur right equals j, I plus j. And then now we're going to calculate the palindrome logic. So, but first we have to count for some edge cases. So while current left is greater than or equal to 0 and current right is less than or equal to n minus 1, and we need to check for the characters matching. So s.car at cur left equals s.car at current right. Then what we're going to do is expand on our scope for the palindrome. So cur left minus minus to iterate left, and then current dot right plus plus until we reach at a point where this substring is not a palindrome, or we reach the edge of the string. All right. So now we calculate that current left and current right. When we hit one of these edge cases, we want to revert back to the last string that was a palindrome. So it's kind of hard to draw out, but current left plus plus and current right minus minus, just to get back to the last indices. All right, and then now we're going to check for the max palindrome length and indices. So we have those left and right that we're saving. So if current right minus current left is greater than our current longest palindrome indices, right minus left, then we want to set right equals current right and left equals current left. And now that we have those two indices saved for the longest palindrome, once we iterate through the longest string, we need to return that string of the longest palindrome. So let's go ahead and return it outside of our loops. So how we would do that would be returning the s.substring of the left, and then also including the right character. All right, so let's go ahead and try out the test cases. And there we go. We have 1 and 2 use cases accepted. Let's go ahead and submit. There we go. We have all test cases passed. And that is a walkthrough of the longest palindromic substring. Thanks.